The goal for the Cook the Carcass classes is to help people understand where their food really comes from. It's not just a cellophane package in the meat section of the store. It starts with a farmer on a farm with an animal that is raised and loved humanely, fed really good stuff and taken care of. That's step one. And step two is, now that you have it in the kitchen, how do you let all that flavor that is naturally in there shine?
Hi, I'm Bryan Mayer.
I'm Ian Knauer, and today we're breaking down a hog. This pig was raised about a mile from here at a farm called Goat Hill Farm. I happen to know what it ate. We feed all our kitchen scraps to all the animals at Goat Hill Farm, so it ate some pretty good stuff.
A healthy diet can be lots of compost, along with forage as they're rooting and doing what they should be doing naturally.
And they love it too. You see them with the lemon and they're like squeezing the juice out of the lemon. It's really funny.
So we're going to break down this pig sort of in a semi-traditional way, dividing it into its 4 and what I like to call 5 primals, using the head as one primal, the shoulder, the loin, the belly, and the ham. And then from there, we'll delve into more of a European-style seam cutting, where we can remove individual muscles and really highlight the usability and the functionality of those muscles, honing in on texture and how that can inform flavor. If I could think of one thing that really drives home the point that we're dealing with a whole animal and we're using everything, is rendering fat during the class and cooking with it. We're going to use leaf lard, so it's the most neutral fat. The rendering process is really easy, just a little bit of water in a pan to keep it from scorching, and then you're just going to cook it down really slowly. And once you've rendered it, it lasts forever.
That entire animal can be utilized.
Yeah. So we go from roasts and steaks to sausages to rendering fat to making candles and salves and bombs.
And crackling.
Yeah.
Especially crackling.
One, two, three.
And just little bursts. So we've got head, various muscles and parts off it, tongue, cheek, jowl. We've got the shoulder, butt, picnic, trotter, hawk and trotter, loin, belly, sirloin and ham, hawk and trotter.
So we're going to make different dishes with these different muscles that Brian's going to hand over to the kitchen. The first one will be the tenderloin. We're going to roll it in crushed coriander seed, sear it, and roast it in the oven until it's just perfect. So because it's so lean, we're going to have a really rich sauce to go with it. We're going to make an Italian-style salsa verde, but we're going to use all cilantro to echo the coriander seed that's on the pork. We're going to finely chop the cilantro, some garlic, some mustard, some raw egg yolk, and that's going to get whisked together, and we'll slowly add olive oil to that in a gentle stream. One of the students that came to the class this morning has quail, and she brought about a dozen cute as could be little quail eggs. We're going to fry them up and garnish the tenderloin dish. So it's our version of a green eggs and ham, except it's green sauce and pork and eggs. With the ribs, ribs take a long time to get really tender. So we're going to speed up that process by using a pressure cooker. We'll cook the ribs in the pressure cooker with a little white wine, maybe an onion, until they're really tender, and that only takes about half an hour. Then stick them under the broiler so you get that really tender falling off the bone meat with that really nice brown crust. And to go with that, I'm going to do an Alabama barbecue sauce, which not a lot of people in this part of the world know about, but it's a mayonnaise-based sauce just because it's delicious. That's the only reason I chose it.
So pork chops now. The first thing I want to do is separate the 2 sections of the loin.
And what is a pork chop without an apple? So we're going to cook some apples and some shallots in the pan after we sear the pork chops, and then add a little stock to that. Just finish that in the oven so it's a nice gentle braise. Again, this is a really lean cut, so we want some liquid to go with it. We're also going to do a schnitzel with those really lean, thin cuts that Bryan gives us. We'll coat the pork with flour so that the egg sticks. We'll hit it with the egg that has that Dijon mustard in there, so we're gonna get some extra flavor. And then we'll get those crispy, crunchy breadcrumbs on the outside. Then we're gonna fry them off in that rendered pork fat that's gonna be rendering throughout the class. Really simple, classic presentation. We'll hit them with a little salt after they come out of the fat, a little parsley, and some lemon juice.
There are so many takeaways that I want people to have from the class. I really want people to start to view meat as part of a healthy diet. Whether something's raised locally or regionally, none of it matters if people don't cook. So I really want people to be excited about cooking and all that that means in terms of coming together as a community and sharing and breaking bread with folks.
The relationship between the farmer and the butcher and the chef is so important because we all work together to get it on the plate. Here, the community comes together to experience firsthand the synergy of a working organic food system. For most people, it's totally enlightening and demystifying. By learning how accessible honest food can be, people then feel empowered to feed their families and their neighbors and themselves well. Here at the Farm Cooking School, that's what we do.